Hey guys, it's Scuff. Hey VC, it's Scuff. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but you saw my post that I was gonna make a recent finds video. So here we go. And as you can see, first of all, I actually have like a new setup, but we'll go into more details about later this week. I'm gonna make a new video that details my whole new room setup. I'm talking kind of fast right now because this is kind of stuff that is kind of unimportant when you get to the vinyl find. So now playing is Chicago 2. It's the Ballet for Bill and Buchanan side 2. Perfect. I'm not gonna get, I can rant about that later. So these are gonna be finds from July and August. And I'm starting school soon, so there's probably gonna be much in the way of vinyl finds, but I think I have an idea for a series of videos that I might do. So first, we'll go into, this is the first thing, and they are in July, mid-July, Matt Nathanson's first new album, Last of the Great Pretenders, came out. Matt Nathanson, if you don't know who he is he's kind of like adult album alternative. Would be playing on that AAA radio. This is his most recent album, came out in July, like I said before. It is on this forest green vinyl, and it's very, very good. If you don't know who he is, you probably really should check him out. I really like him. He's really funny live. I should be seeing him again in November. Also in July, I picked up a copy of Less Than Jake's third album, but then their second album on a major label, Hello Rockview. It came out in 1998, and it probably contains one of their best known songs, All My Best Friends Are Metalheads. And this is on a 7" box set. Every song is on one side of 45. And I believe this is limited to 5,000 copies. So I got this used for like 20 bucks, and it still has the limited edition 45 adapter that came with it. And it's very good. I'm really getting back into third wave ska. I liked it when I was younger, and now I'm younger. I guess I kind of am young, but like even younger than I am now, and then I'm getting back into it now. So in Chicago, I went to Chicago a couple weeks ago to go to Lollapalooza, and I also did end up going to Reckless Records, because I mean you can't not record shop when you go somewhere, right? So we have Joe Jackson's Look Sharp from 1979, and this is the 210" version. It is missing the button, but I'm pretty sure most copies nowadays will be missing the button. So, really great album. Pick it up if you don't have it. I'm sure most of you do. Next we have This Is the Modern World by The Jam. Also a really great album from the late 70s, 1977. This version is the censored version, which kind of makes me upset, but what are you gonna do? Next we have The Who's Happy Jack, their second album, called A Quick One in places other than the United States. This is a very good Who album and probably one of my favorite. It's either this or Who Sell Out are my favorite Who albums. I do prefer the earlier Who. My favorite track on here is probably the A Quick One While He's Away. It's just fantastic and perfect. And if you don't have this, you probably should get it. Next we have Crying Shames Synthesis. Crying Shames were a pop psych band, but this is one of their later albums where they tend to get more to the heavier psych. It's pretty good, and it's not fantastic. It's not like the best album ever made, but Greenberg, Glickstein, Charles Davis, Smith & Jones is pretty heavy psych, and I picked it up for like $2. You should be able to find it inexpensively if you can find it. Next we have the second album from The Circle, Neon. I do have have had their first album for a while, and I picked this up completely on a whim because it was $1 at Reckless. So I'm like, why not? It's $1. What can go wrong? Those were the used records I got at Reckless. Now let's get into the new ones. This is the Maniac soundtrack to the 2013 remake of the classic B-movie horror film Maniac, and it has a very, very good soundtrack by French electronic musician Rob, and it's just good. Like, it's really good, really ambient. The themes carry out throughout the whole movie. It's just so good. And this was probably the hardest record to find for me at Reckless because it wasn't in their bins. Now I was looking through their bins, looking through every section it could possibly be in, and it was on the wall that I passed at least 17 times. Next we have Newfound Glory's 2011 album Radio Surgery. I like pop punk, that's all I'm going to say about it, that's all I'm going to comment about it. Thank you, goodbye. Next we have the Sub Pop 1000 compilation from Record Store Day this year. They still had some copies. So I got it's limited to 5,000 copies. So I got this mainly because of the cover and how cool it looks, and it's on Sub Pop, and I really like Sub Pop. I tend to like the artists they sign, so I figured what could go wrong? I mean, then I found out it was on this really, really, really cool looking vinyl. So, and then I'm like, well, I may as well just pick it up because What can go wrong? It's just money that the National Park Service gave me with my job. May as well spend it. So I mean, it wasn't too bad either. And most of the songs in here are pretty good. So I mean, if you can find a record store that's still selling these, I think they might even still be selling them on Sub Pop's website. Pick it up. It's not bad. It's just a wide variety of music. Sub Pop signs on it. Next we have Frightened Rabbit's 2013 most recent album, Pedestrian Verse. If you don't know who Frightened Rabbit are, which I'm sure probably a lot of you do, they're like Scottish anthemic folk rock, kind of. I've heard Admiral Fallow compared to Frightened Rabbit, which is the first thing that made me want to check them out. And then when I found out they were going to be at Lollapalooza, that just made me want to go check them out even more. So this is a very, very good album. They tend to not watch their language very much, but I like that in the band. They don't care what they say. The first line of this album is "I am that dickhead in the kitchen," so I don't know how many people knew this, but at Lollapalooza you can get artist autographs if you buy their music at the FYE tent. So I have Imagine Dragons album, Night Visions. They ran out of vinyl copies of this before I could get a hold of them. So, but what are you gonna do? Actually, their set actually kind of stunk. I had a crappy view. People were smoking weed all around me. Their power went out during Amsterdam, my favorite song. So, but I did end up get to see them, and some of like their drum break jams are pretty cool. So it's cool I have their autographs too. What I did get a vinyl copy of autographed is Frightened Rabbit's first album, Sing the Grays, and it's their first album, so it's kind of sort of different than their most recent work, but it's still really good. I guess it's more rock than folk, but it's still really good, and I like it a lot, and I have it autographed. So also at Lollapalooza, I wasn't anticipating on getting this because they weren't doing autographs, but I couldn't pass it up after I saw their set. This is the 10th anniversary edition of the Postal Service's album Give Up, and this is just packaged so well. Has all of the artwork from the singles, has custom labels. They're on these nice pink plastic inner sleeves. I love when bands do nice stuff like this. When labels and bands do fantastic stuff like this. It's a triple album. It contains every song they ever released under the moniker The Postal Service. The duo did release one song under the name D&Tell or Jimmy Tamborello on his album Life is Full of Possibilities, which I also want to pick up. So, and it also has this nice booklet. And basically every packaging of this album is just fantastic. I own this album 3 times now, but I like the Postal Service. What are you gonna do? So that's what I got at Lollapalooza. I also had some things I got from mail order. I have Streetlight Manifesto's first album, which was recently repressed, Everything Goes Numb. And well, I don't know how I feel about me owning this, because their record label's kind of an asshole when it comes to dealing with them. And they kind of the band doesn't really make money when you buy their music through them, but that's the only way you can buy vinyl. So I'm kind of at a crossroads. I don't know what I can't talk. But I did buy a t-shirt from Streetlight Manifesto's actual store, and I'm probably gonna buy more stuff because I kind of feel bad for owning some of this. But I really like them, and I want them on vinyl. This is a repress of their album that they did recently. It is on the very limited Clear with Black Smoke. I do believe this is limited to 160 copies on this color. So I mean, it's very, very good, but it's just kind of like a moral thing. If you can, I mean, I will end up supporting them and buying probably a lot more merch through the actual band, because I kind of feel bad, but what are you gonna do? I also have, in the same order, also got their most recent album, 2013, this year. It's called The Hands That Thieve. The Hands That Thieve. I had to double... Sorry about that. I'm gonna keep that in because it's natural and I don't do any editing anyway, and I'm not recording this whole video for a second time. So this is their most recent album, The Hands That Thieve. Very good ska punk, very good. Some people consider them to be like a 4th wave of ska because they combine a whole more than just punk influences, but I really like Streetlight Manifesto, like a lot. So I also went to my local record store yesterday for the first time in like 2 years, and So I don't know why it did that. I don't know why it stopped. I'm going to end up editing these two things together in Windows Movie Maker anyway. I know I say I don't do editing, but I kind of have to now. I have 3 records left to show you guys, and it couldn't wait to do whatever it did. Anyway, so I went to my local record store, which I haven't been to in like a long time. Sorry, I had to stop. I haven't been there in a long time, and I went there because I had some gift cards that I needed to spend, and I did end up spending one of them on these 3 records. So I got the English Beat, also known as The Beat. This is a compilation album from 1983. It was the only English Beat album I had. This is two-tone ska, the second wave of ska, where they combine ska and new wave. I can tell you a lot about ska later. Anyway, so it's just two-tone ska, and it's pretty good. It's just a compilation of some of their stuff, and they have like live albums and stuff. So then we have the Click, I think their only album from 1966 on White Whale. This features Sugar on Sunday, and then Superman, which would later get famous and was covered by REM. So it's a cool album. It's actually in really nice shape too. And finally we have True Colors by Split Enz, which I guess I like them. I did look them up a long time ago. I added this to my want list, and it's just been on there ever since. Mainly because it's just etched. It's one of those etched records. And the only other one that I've ever come in contact with is one that I have is Paradise Theater by Styx, and I have that too. And I believe the singles from this album were etched too. So it's just a cool thing to have, and I do like the music on this one as opposed to Styx, where I'm not really crazy about Styx. But I'm not going to say much because I'm done. I'm done with my recent vinyl finds, and I've made little videos about it, and I have to go edit them together and whatever. It just was kind of a mess, but at least I made a video, and I should be making another one this week about my setup and touring my whole room. I did also order a new phono cartridge recently, so that should be coming soon. Actually, ordered it yesterday, so it should be coming soon, sometime this week. And then once that comes, I'll have my room cleaned up, and I'll be able to make a video detailing all of this for you. So see you guys later. Bye.